Aloha, Yvonne Ahearn here from the Oahu Real Estate Life team of Hawaii Life. And today we're going to talk a little bit about the Oahu real estate market.
Hi, I'm Anna, and we're joining you here via Zoom from beautiful Kailua, Oahu.
Well, we're almost 2 months into the pandemic and things still are not back to normal. In the meantime, everyone wants to know, how is the Oahu real estate market doing? How has the pandemic impacted Oahu home sales? How has the pandemic impacted prices? Will the market recover when the state opens up in June? Wait, what? Recover? What is the market recovering from? Is the market even doing that badly since the pandemic started? Well, we can give you a general idea of the impact of COVID on the Oahu real estate market as we start looking at the past data from early 2020. Anna?
Right, so as of April 2020, the Honolulu Board of Realtors sent out some stats, and the median price for a single-family home on Oahu is up 5.5%, and the median price for a condo is up 7.4% from 2019. Now keep in mind, most of these changes are results of sales that happened between middle of February and the middle of March, before Oahu was on lockdown. Our cycles are usually 30 to 60 days. So we have yet to see whether there will be some price pressure downward for homes and condos that close in May 2020 as a result of market uncertainty in late March and early April. Our guess is that May market stats will be either flat on price or there will be a slight price depression, probably the same for June. We think this is due to erratic market, seller, buyer behavior in late March and early April, with cancelled escrows, withdrawn listings, price reductions, etc. Effects will be seen in May and June. However, in our opinion, it's unlikely that there will be a large price drop due to basic concepts of supply and demand.
Yes, and besides prices, they look at closed sales data. So the number of closed sales in April 2020 for both single-family homes and condos is down significantly from 2019. 22% for single-family homes and 27.9% for condos. However, this trend is consistent with the sales also in February and March of 2020, before the pandemic, where sales were also down compared to 2019. This makes sense, regardless of the pandemic, because Oahu has had a shortage of new listing inventory throughout all of 2020.
Now, as you can see from the chart on your screen, new listings were down in 2020 as compared to 2019, even early in the year prior to COVID pandemic impact on Hawaii. The shutdown started week 13 as noted by an asterisk in the charts. Now, this may be surprising to some who thought that there was more inventory early in 2020 due to Bill 89. This was not the case in early January and February. In fact, there were only a few weeks in the first quarter of 2020 where the number of new listings were not lower than in 2019. Overall, in the first 18 weeks of 2020, new listing inventory is down by 25% from 2019. After week 13, however, when Oahu was put on lockdown, the number of new listings decreased by 42.8% from 2019. Clearly, the pandemic had a significant effect on new listings of single-family homes on Oahu.
For condo homes on Oahu, buyers faced a similar inventory dilemma in 2020. New listings of condos were consistently down every week of 2020, even before the pandemic. This too, with Bill 89 having taken effect in October 2019. In weeks 1 through 18 of 2020, new listings were down 25.7% over 2019. That said, the decrease in the number of new listings was noticeably larger after week 13 when Oahu was put on the lockdown, with weeks 13 through 18 of 2020 at a 40.5% decrease.
Now, new escrows in 2020, single-family homes, the number of new escrows was up significantly pre-COVID lockdown. with low interest rates perhaps and the loosening of VA loan down payment requirements from January 1st, 2020, may have led to this bust of real estate market activity on Oahu in early 2020. The numbers clearly went down after week 12 by 25%. This is understandable for various reasons related to COVID. There was less inventory, it became harder to see properties, many people didn't even want to go out and look at properties, and many people became really worried about how the real estate market was dealing with this in Oahu. Overall, single-family homes at week 18, the number of the new escrows for the year is down only 1.7%.
Well, the same wasn't true for condos. Market activity was not up in 2020 as much as it was for single-family homes. New escrows were already down in almost every week of early 2020, even before the pandemic lockdowns in Hawaii. The number of new escrows did go down very significantly at week 13 and afterward by 50.1%. But overall, the number of new escrows was down 23.1% through week 18. New escrows for condos were down by twice as much as single-family homes on Oahu after week 13.
Right around the time Oahu began lockdown and social distancing measures, a significant number of escrows were also cancelled. The number of cancelled escrows more or less doubled from 2019 to 2020 at weeks 12 to 14 of the charts. Reasons that we have heard about related both to buyers no longer being able to qualify for loans and also just the questions about market uncertainty. However, you should note that there were presumably more single-family properties already in escrow in early 2020 during weeks 1 to 11. This was not the same for condos, as the numbers of new escrows was down between 2019 and 2020. The cancelled escrow numbers may therefore overstate the impact of COVID-19 on single-family market and might understate the impact of COVID-19 on the condo market.
So let's talk about price now. All the other data is interesting, canceled escrows and so forth, but what people really want to know about are prices. Have the prices gone down and will they? Well, we don't have a crystal ball. We don't know for sure. We don't have the price data resulting from the start of the COVID lockdown until May and June. However, we can see some price decreases through MLS data that we already have, which might provide some clues. Perhaps surprisingly to some, there were actually more price reductions per week in 2019 than there have been in 2020. And that's even after the pandemic lockdown in week 13. What are the reasons for this? Well, maybe initial prices were more competitive in 2020 because sellers had learned in 2019 not to shoot so high in a relatively stable market. Or maybe it was increased competition caused by the lower inventory we've had in 2020. Or maybe there were other reasons. For example, because inventory was also lower. If inventory is lower, we're going to have a lower number of price decreases. Now that makes sense. I'm not sure exactly what we can glean from this price decrease data because it doesn't really speak to the dollar amount of the price changes. It only shows that they happened. Single-family homes had 41.4% fewer price changes in 2020 than in 2019 so far. Condos had only 18% fewer price decreases in 2020 than 2019. I think all this really does is reinforce the data above that single-family homes were more in demand than condos overall. But that's really not a new phenomenon on Oahu.
In summary, we can see from the data the following. 1, prices so far have remained fairly stable. As the economy worsens and or recovers, things may still change. We will know more in June and July when we have the May and June data.
2, new listing inventory is significantly down after COVID, but it was already down from 2019, even at the beginning of the year.
3, there was an initial surge of erratic behavior in weeks 12 to 14 as escrow cancellations, but this has leveled out. 4, There were fewer number of price reductions on Oahu between 2020 and 2019, but inventory was also lower.
And 5, basic concepts of supply and demand prevail, even during a pandemic.
Thanks for joining us, the Oahu Real Estate Life team, Hawaii Life. We'll give you more market updates as we have them. Stay tuned and have a great day. Aloha.
Aloha.